Welcome to my channel Learn a Read. Today we will going to discuss about the gasturalization and the derivatives of the three germ layers. That include the ectodermal germ layer, the mesodermal germ layer and the endodermal germ layer. The process of gasturalization I have discussed in a separate video, that is the formation of a three germ layer that occur at the third week of the embryonic development. So afterwards, the third week of embryonic development, what happens that these germ layer will going to differentiate into certain organs and certain skeletal system that is going to develop the body of the embryo. So how these differentiation occur and what are the derivatives of the three germ layers including the ectoderm, mesoderm and the endoderm, we will going to discuss in this video. So here you have seen that I have prepared a chart for you guys to be better explained, and from this chart we will going to explain what are the derivatives. Now starting from the ectoderm, the ectodermal germ layer will going to form these of the certain exceptions of the mesoderm, including the erector pili muscle, the iris and the pupillary constrictor and the dilator of the eye, the mammary gland of the breast and the sweat gland of the skin. These four, the two muscles and the two glands, are formed from the ectoderm and they are the exceptions of the mesoderm. So these points you should have to remember. Now coming to the smaller one, that is the endoderm. The endoderm will going to form the further GIT tract and the abdominal organs including the GIT, stomach, gastrointestinal tract, the small intestine, the large intestine, the esophagus, the pancreas and all these that are included in the GIT tract. And the respiratory tract. The respiratory tract that will include the nasal cavities, the pharynx, the larynx, the trachea, alveoli, lungs, all these are developed from the endodermal germ layer at the time of third week, and the gasturalization has been occurred at the third week, while that of the derivation of these germ layer will mostly occur at the fourth week. Now coming to the mesoderm. The mesoderm is a major part or the major germ layer which is going to form the most of the body of the embryo. Now this mesoderm is again divided into the three parts that we call as the paraxial mesoderm, the intermediate mesoderm and the lateral plate mesoderm. Coming to the paraxial mesoderm, it will going to form four of the major structures or the sclerotome, the dermatome, the myotome and the somite. The somites that are formed from the occipital region till the tailbud of the embryo are the further differentiation of the skeletal muscles and the line of the neural tube. These somites are developed and they are the derivatives of the paraxial mesoderm. The sclerotome will form the bones and the ribs. The dermatome will form the dermis or the skin of the musculature of the body. The myotome will forming the muscles of the intercostal muscles, the muscles of the back and the muscles of the shoulder region of the thoracic cavity. So these three layers, the sclerotome, dermatome and myotome, are ultimately the derivative of somite, while that the main or the major derivative of the paraxial mesoderm is the somite, and then this somite is going to divide into the sclerotome, dermatome and the myotome. So the major one is the somite that is present from the occipital region to the tailbud. The intermediate mesodermal layer will going to form the urinogenital organs that include the kidney, the ureter, the urethra and the genitalia, and mostly these urinogenital organs are related with the intermediate mesodermal germ layer. Now the lateral plate mesoderm, that is the most lateral mesoderm that is present. If we see the structure of a mesoderm, there is a layer of mesoderm in between the upper part, that is the ectoderm, and the below is the endoderm. This mesoderm having a central region and there is a formation of a paraxial mesoderm lateral to this neural tube. Then there comes a intermediate mesoderm and then there will be a lateral plate mesoderm. So the third one and the most lateral is the lateral plate mesoderm. And this lateral plate mesoderm will going to form the two layers of the embryonic yolk sac and the amniotic cavity, include the somatic layer, and the second one is the splanchnic layer. The somatic layer that is going to cover the embryo will going to derive the skeletal muscles of the body of the embryo ultimately after the fourth week of gestation. The splanchnic mesoderm that we have discussed in a video of third week of development, that this layer is going to cover the yolk sac or the primary yolk sac of the developing embryo. So this splanchnic layer will going to divide into the cardiac and the smooth muscles of the body. So this was the general explanation. I hope you'll be explained well.